Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share with you some parenting mistakes that people make that you should definitely avoid. Before I give you the tips, I want to say that these are all something that I have these are all mistakes that I have 100% made over and over again. And if you don't know, I am a mom of 3, and now that my oldest is growing up, I can see some of the mistakes that I made back in the day when parenting him, and they're kind of coming out now. And I just want to share them with you, and this is going to be a super honest video. I feel like there are not enough honest videos on YouTube about parenting and about just being a mom and a dad. So I'm hoping that you're gonna take these tips away and not see them as criticism, but more as mistakes that I have made, and I now see that like where the problem was, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump right in, and I'm looking at my phone because I wrote them all down on my phone. So the first thing is, if you get irritable too quickly, your child won't trust you or confide in you. So I have found this to be true because so many times John would do something wrong and I would right away snap and not stop and think about it for a minute and think about him and how he was feeling. And I would see that he would be like really worried, like because I reacted so quickly that from then on, he just would not confide in me. He didn't seem to trust me as much, and I couldn't figure out why, because I've done this multiple times, and now that I'm thinking back, and I can see that's definitely the reason. The next thing is, if a child is behaving bad, it could be due to lack of attention, and this one I have done over and over again, and I am still doing, and it's frustrating. So if you are busy cooking and cleaning and on the computer doing your own thing, or on your cell phone and just always doing something and not just sitting down and giving your child attention, they might start acting out. They might start acting bad because they don't know how else to get your attention. And I have found this to be true so many times, especially with my middle child, Aaron. He will just start acting really bad and doing really bad things, like hitting his siblings for no reason, picking up a toy or something that I own and throwing it and smashing it. And I was like, why is he so crazy all the time? And then I sat down and started really thinking, like, those days that he acts out are the days that I just don't spend time with him because I'm just too busy doing 1,000,001 other things. Children need attention, and they thrive off of it. Attention and physical touch is most children's love language. So you need to give your child that kind of attention. And if they're acting out, it's not that they're bad, it's probably that they just want to spend some time with you. So maybe try that method before disciplining or punishing them for being bad. The next thing is, don't compare your child to someone else, or they could lack confidence. And I have done this, not all the time, but I've done this a couple times. John would be really bad, and I would say, why are you acting like this? This person who is his friend, is so much better. They do this and this and this and that, or that person does this and that. Why can't you be like that person? And then I would see that he would kind of close up and kind of go into like his little shell. And then he just seemed to lack so much confidence. I was like, why is this happening? And then again, I sat down and started thinking, like, what did I do that could lead to him behaving like that? And I started realizing that a couple times I have kind of sat there and compared him to somebody else, even sometimes his siblings. So yeah, I guess just if you're disciplining your child, try to refrain from comparing them to their siblings or to their cousins or their friends. Every child is different, and I feel like you can't, like, I did this all the time. I would compare him to somebody else that's the same age as him, but that's not fair because every child develops differently and behaves differently, and that's not fair to the child to be comparing them. So you don't want them to, I feel like they will lack confidence, especially as they get older, if that behavior continues. So I've been like really trying to be mindful of that one specifically. The next thing is not to spoon feed your toddler. This backfired on me. So I was always against spoon feed. I was like, do not feed your toddler. They will, and by toddler I mean like 2 and up, or maybe 1.5 and up. I was like, don't feed them, they will learn to feed themselves. But then my middle child, Aaron, just wouldn't eat, and I would get so frustrated because dinner would take so long and I want to clean up and be out of the kitchen, that I would just start feeding him his food. And now he expects me to feed him, or Patrick to feed him, at every single meal. He can do it. I've seen him pick up a spoon, eat it, and feed himself, and his fork. He definitely knows how. He's just lazy. It's much faster if we do it, and he wants that now. So don't spoon feed your toddler, or they're gonna end up being so much older and still like not being able to eat on their own, or not wanting to eat on their own, or taking forever to eat. So that's just a tip from experience. Take it or leave it, but it backfired on me a lot. The next one is, acknowledge your child's feelings before telling them what to do, or they may not respect others. So this one is big. Sometimes, especially, I keep talking about John because he's the oldest and he's the one that I've had the most experience with. Sometimes I would just not acknowledge his feelings and how he's feeling, and I would tell him what to do and tell him how things are going to be, and not say, why are you acting this way? Why do you feel this way? How do you feel about this or this change? I kind of just make changes and do things without consulting him and without taking his feelings into account. Even though he is such a small person, he has his feelings, and every single person does. And I have done that more than once, where I just don't really take his feelings into account. And then I feel like sometimes he's really rude to me and my husband and other people, and I was like, why is he acting like this? So I did some research, read some books, and in multiple books they said that if you are not acknowledging your child's feelings, then they are not going to respect others. And there's a book that I talked about on my channel a while back. It's called How to Listen So Kids Will Talk and Talk So Kids Will Listen, or something like that. I forget exactly. I read that book and it was an amazing book, as she talks about this in that book, about how you have to acknowledge their feelings and let them know that you're acknowledging their feelings if you want them, and expect them to respect you and everyone around them. So that's another tip, and I have learned that the hard way for sure. What else? Okay, if a child is rude, they might be following the example of their parents. Okay, so I don't like hit my kids, but I will like give them a little pat on the hand or the bum if they have done something wrong, just so that they know like that is not acceptable behavior. So one time, or more than once, I'm gonna say, no, like so many times actually, Aaron or John would go and hit Lily, or they would hit each other. And my first reaction would be go up to them and hit them on the hand or hit them on the bum. And then I realized, like, I'm telling them, I'm punishing them for hitting someone, but then I went and hit them as like the punishment. So that just confuses the hell out of your kids, and they're gonna be like, wait, I thought hitting is bad, so why would you hit me? So I stopped doing that now, and now I'll do like a timeout or a different punishment. But that one I noticed was huge, because I would say stop hitting, and then 5 seconds later they would hit again, and they would keep hitting, and it's because I was hitting them on the hand, and they would just think that it's okay because I was doing it. So I was definitely getting mixed messages there. So I would really recommend, if you're punishing your kids for them doing something, whether it's taking somebody's toy, then you don't go and take a toy from them and say, you're not playing with this toy because you're punished. If you're punishing them for hitting someone, then don't hit them, because that's just gonna confuse them. So I hope that makes sense. What else do I have in here? Oh yeah, the last one is, if your child is lying, it might be because you overreacted to one of their previous mistakes. And I have done this a lot, and I feel bad about it, but John a couple times, and Aaron too, but mostly John, has done some things that I just freaked out about, because they were really not like bad things, but like to me, I was like, why would you do this? And I overreacted, and he came to me in those times when I overreacted and told me the truth, and then I still overreacted about it. So he came confiding in me and trusting that I was going to handle the situation well, and I didn't, and I overreacted, and then it kind of backfired on him. So then I found that I would ask him a question, he started lying when he never would lie before. Or if he did something wrong and I know it was him who did it, and I would ask him, he would kind of just like, I would see he would kind of just put his head down and be like, no, I didn't do it, or whatever. He didn't want to trust me with it. And I started realizing that it's because I overreacted when he did trust me and confide in me, and now he kind of lost that trust and that faith that I was going to handle it well. So I have been really working on myself, that if he comes to me with something, that I'm going to just listen and try to see it from his point of view and try to be more understanding. That way he does trust me more as he grows up. Children and their mental state and their mental health is so fragile when they're so young, and giving them a solid like foundation from when they're little will help them so much when they're older, to be able to cope with stress and be able to treat people the right way. And I feel like if children are not treated correctly when they're younger, then are not like taught properly and raised properly, then they're gonna have so many troubles and so many like mental issues when they're older. And I am just really trying my best to like raise them as best as I can, and it is hard sometimes. Like I have like hitting them on the hand when they hit somebody else, or overreacting when they try to trust me or something, or comparing them to others. Like all these things I just did, and I still do, and I'm trying to work on myself. But I realize that if I want healthy kids who are stable and who are confident, I have to kind of change my way of parenting. So that's why I decided to make this video. I just wanted moms and dads out there to maybe take a step back and try to like think about the way you're parenting, and think of if it's the way you actually want to be parenting. I had this image in my head before I had kids of the kind of parent that I was going to be, and I was in my head I was going to be the patient, understanding, perfect parent. And then when I had kids and they, you know, they do things all the time that are just bad and that stress you out, I just overreact because I'm so exhausted. and I'm definitely not the parent that I wanted to be. So I'm definitely working on myself, and I just want to make this honest, open video sharing with you my mistakes and hoping that I can help one of you new parents out there from making the same mistakes that I did. Like I said, I have 3 kids and they are still young, but I have learned so much already in terms of parenting from, you know, just having these 3 kids. So I really hope this video helps one of you. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. And I have another video coming out in a couple days, and I'm going to be talking about how to stop caring about what people think of you. I have had some interesting situations and some interesting comments from people, and they used to get to me a lot, but not anymore. And I want to share with you kind of what I did and how it has kind of released me in terms of like stress and worry and all that kind of stuff. So I hope you're excited for that video. Stay on the lookout. It'll be coming soon whenever I get a chance to upload it. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I love you all, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.